Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about somebody who has felt like they couldn't really see past the love that they had for somebody. They wanted to do whatever they could to make this work. But with the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse at the Queen of Cups back, it feels like we have somebody who has gone through some acceptance or process of healing to acknowledge that even though they feel these deep feelings, even though they want this long-term connection, they don't necessarily have confidence or they don't seem to be as focused on that long-term connection. And it has basically upgraded them to Empress. So don't get too caught up on the gender. This could be anybody, but we have spiritual awakening or ascension for somebody who is learning that being, deeply in love with somebody doesn't have to dictate how things go in your life. It's how they react to that love, right? How they express that love. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of Winchanta. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you would like a personal reading, my email address is in the description box below. Hello, Upper Echelon. How are you doing today? We're going to start. I keep hitting this with my chair. We're going to start off with the Hocus Pocus. I almost dropped it. All right, what else do we have? Seven of Candles or the Seven of Wands and Strength. Well, that's very powerful energy. We've got love can make you weak, but love can also make you strong. And sometimes people look at it as, just being kind of black and white, but it's complex. And for a long time, I think this love made whoever resonates with the Queen of Cups energy, now the Empress, they let that love create weakness or chaos in their life and discovered a way to transmute that energy, retain that love for that person, but no longer let it create problems for them. How can I use that emotion in a different way? Or how can I still love myself even though I love this other person, right? Hello, Peggy. Aw, thank you. What else do we have? Knight of Potions or Knight of Cups in the reverse. The Nine of Potions or the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Lightning or the Nine of Swords in the reverse. What is that song that I'm thinking of? Okay, I'm probably going to destroy the lyrics, but the lyrics are something like, I always thought that I would never love you and you would never love me, but I was wrong about me and right about you. So it's like, I didn't expect things to go anywhere. I didn't expect this to be, we're going to get married, we're going to have a family, all of it. Like, I didn't daydream about things like that. But the Queen of Cups still fell in love. And that love was something that they had hoped would be reciprocated. They didn't expect to get all daydreamy about it or, want more. And it started to create a lot of anxiety for them. I don't know that this person wants a relationship. I don't know if this person loves me. So it has created quite the block for them emotionally. Hello, Sky. How are you doing? Hello, Stephen. Good morning. What else? Six of Potions or the Six of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, I mean, this is something that had a spark, there's chemistry. There was, I think, at the very least, flirtatious energy between the two people, but one person was more comfortable with their emotions than the other, or one person fell in love and the other didn't. The Tower in the reverse. Five of Potions or the Five of Cups in the reverse. And the Five of Swords or the Five of Lightning in the reverse. The number 5 could be important. I think some of those lyrics was, so I was right about me loving you and wrong about, or about you loving me and right about me loving you. If I can, I will try to remember to come back and comment what that song is. It's kind of got like I would say it's like a depressing vibe, but it's almost actually kind of spooky. So it's interesting that it came through with the Hocus Pocus deck, because I would say, like, if you played it at a Halloween party, people would be like, yeah, this works. He's got a vibe. But we've got somebody who had to challenge themselves. I know that I've been waiting. I know that I've been hoping that things would go the right way, that this person would see that I'm the one for them, or that they want something serious with me. But now I think I have to kind of challenge myself to accept that maybe it's not going to happen. I don't want to sit here and waste away waiting for somebody to fall in love or waiting for somebody to want to express emotions. We've got an interest in getting over it, right? Let's move on. Let's remember that there's still a life to live. So if you resonate with the Queen of Cups, I'm proud of you. Love can make us weak. Love can make us strong. The love that you have for yourself is the most important, because that is what helps you stay strong. Eight of Candles or the Eight of Wands in the reverse. The Sun and another 5. So 555. What was that movie with Natalie Portman? Can't remember the name of it, but I feel like that was her total at the Walmart cash register. Right? Wasn't it? Eight of Candles in the reverse or the Eight of Wands in the reverse is, I haven't been able to do anything. This is coming through as that post-breakup Bridget Jones style energy. I've got to eat ice cream. I don't want to see anyone. I'm wearing sweatpants. I haven't showered in a week. Leave me alone. Or the dude in, crap, what's that movie? I think his name is Jason Segel. And the chick from Black Swan and that 70s show. Anyways, the blues, right? But if I don't want to stay in this depression, if I don't want to let this love control my life, then I've got to find a way to get it together, right? I've got to find a way to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, there's an interesting contrast in this card, light and dark. It's dark in terms of her face. You can't really see a lot of detail, but there's light behind her. And it makes me feel like this is somebody realizing this whole time I've been expecting this person to make me happy, expecting this love from them to make me happy. But I realize that I can actually do that for myself, that I could actually love this person and still be able to let them go or acknowledge that it's not going to work out. So the Five of Candles or the Five of Wands, it actually, often it's depicting people actually arguing or hitting each other with sticks. That's how you guys do it too, right? No? Okay. Um, it's just candles. There's no people. So I feel like this is fighting with oneself. Do I let go of this person? How could I let go of this person? I love them, but they don't love me, or they don't, treat me right. They don't want a long-term relationship. So why do I do this to myself? It's a back and forth with yourself, an argument with yourself, because you acknowledge Six of Potions, Six of Cups in the reverse. Things ain't always been that great with this person. They haven't really treated you with the respect that you deserve. They don't get the stars in their eyes that someone should when they're in love with you. So we've got, I guess, kind of like a reality check. Maybe I was a little bit too quick to see something that wasn't there because I wanted it so bad. Hello, Laura. Hello, Tiana. I'm glad you like it. Yes, Where the Heart Is. That's the movie. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hello, daughter of Saturn. How are you doing? Yeah, that's why I don't want to talk about it too much, because I think most of you know how I feel about that. Is that like where you buy walls? No shade to Paris, because she's kind of a badass these days. Fighting for people that have been hurt. Hello, James. How are you doing? That kind of sounds like semantics to me, upper echelon, because love doesn't make you weak versus love may make you feel weak. Perspective is a big deal. This is absolutely what you're talking about, though, because it's saying we can let that love that you have for another person lead to you losing sight of what's important, or lead to you forgetting, some of the other things that are beautiful in your life because you're so focused on that thing that you want that you didn't get. So the reason we have the Strength card is because this person has realized they can leverage the love that they feel for that person and the love that they feel for themselves to be stronger instead of feeling weaker. And I would say I've seen plenty of examples, and real talk, I've been there. I've felt weak because of love. And I sometimes hesitate to share things like this with you all because I gotta say, I really don't like it when people think that when I'm doing a reading, I'm doing a reading for myself. This is for you all, not about me. But to kind of explain that, I have a very present voice. I'm not quiet. I've never been accused of being quiet ever since second grade, first grade, whatever. Carmen talks too much. Carmen's loud. I was in a relationship where sitting in the same room, sitting 8 feet away from my mom, she had to ask me to repeat myself over and over again because I was talking like this, because I didn't have that confidence in me anymore. I had lost it because of the love I felt for somebody. So would I say I'm a weak person? Hell no. Was I weak in that time of my life? Yeah, I was, because of that love that I felt. Well, not all love is unconditional. There's a lot of love out there that's super toxic. I love you for what you do for me, right? That's not love. So we have Knight of Cups, Four of Cups, the Lovers, and the Ace of Spheres, which is the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah. So I did, have hopes. This Queen of Cups was daydreaming. They were hoping that things would change or they would fall into place. Yeah, it's tough because that rejection was something that they had not really expected or anticipated or planned for. I thought there was something there. Aw, thank you, James. I appreciate that. I thought that, you were interested in me. It wasn't like a secret admirer saying, hey, I'm in love with you, and someone saying, oh, well, I had no idea, and like, you are awful. There was chemistry here. I thought you might be falling in love with me too, and then Four of Cups, and then things fall apart. And with the Lovers and the Ace of Spheres, it's like, I still want you to choose me, but I can't continue to like wait and hope that things will turn around. Hello, Jess. How are you doing? That's not fair. No, upper echelon, we good. That's why I said semantics. I think basically we're saying the same thing. Humans are capable of immense strength. And when I say that, you probably picture some bulky dude lifting a big old thing of weights. That's the right way to say that, right? That's how they do it. Good form. But strength, I think, is best demonstrated with mental fortitude, self-control. And maybe that's just because like my muscles are meager. But this is somebody identifying that they have strength that they had previously kind of surrendered. They gave in and then reclaimed that power. So we have Hermit in the reverse, Nine of Spheres, which is the Nine of Pentacles, and Strength. So I love that Strength has come out again. This is heavy fire energy. And this is one of those cards that really lets that fire energy come through as far as that artistic portrayal. Although I think you could kind of argue that that looks like vampire teeth at the top instead of fire. You can choose however you want to look at it. But I know now where I went wrong. I know maybe my love for this person was obsessive, or maybe it was not entirely about the person. This could be someone who just wanted the companionship, right? And now they're discovering the independent energy that has always lived within them, their ability to cast off the things that seemed vital to their happiness or their life, and acknowledging, you know what, I'm going to be just fine without that. So it's an important lesson, and I would guess many of you have already learned that lesson, or you are in the process of learning that lesson. But that's why the Queen of Cups at the beginning is going from a queen status to Empress. This is saying, I can do this on my own. Knight of Spheres or Knight of Pentacles, Seven of Spheres in the reverse, and the Eight of Spheres. Lots of earth energy. That would be Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. It's been too long, and this person that I love hasn't done anything to invest or hasn't made any changes. It's more of the same, and I just keep waiting. Maybe what I need to do is call it. Maybe I need to accept that this is where things end. Maybe it's time for me to, sorry, I keep kicking the bottom of the chair. Maybe it's time for me to have higher standards, because I want somebody that also invests in the connection. I want somebody who's like a partner, right? Don't lie to me, Tiana. Yeah, I probably, well, you know what? I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I'm going to do more walking, I think. I found some really cool trails around me, which I'm really excited about. I think I'm going to check them out today. So if I remember to, I will try to post a cool nature pic for you all. 10 of Cups. I like it. This is clarifying the Ace of Pentacles or the Ace of Spheres. 5 of Spheres in the reverse. 2 of Cups in the reverse. 6 of Swords in the reverse. Is it really love if it makes me feel alone? Is it really love if it makes me feel broken? Is it really love if it makes me feel worse than I do by myself? These are tough questions that the Queen of Cups Empress is asking themselves. Why do I seek out the attention from somebody who is like the human version of barbed wire? Why do I want to love somebody that has continued to reject me? We have, I think, a kind of like introspective discovery of why do I love this person? What is it that draws me to this? Am I just like interested in things I can't have? Like, is that what's going on here? Or how can I change my experience going forward? So I applaud you because not a lot of people do this kind of introspection, but I think it's really important if you want to learn from your relationships, right? Instead of repeating patterns. Hello, Ground Zero. Tiana, lift some for me, please. Hello, Bitchy Tata. How you doing? Hello, Rachel. Happy Tuesday. Anybody having tacos today? I'll kind of get close to it. Well, I got like salsa and like the best chips ever. So that's gonna be my Taco Tuesday. Four of Swords, Seven of Wands in the reverse, and the Queen of Cups in the reverse. Well, I was kind of hoping this wasn't gonna happen. But people gonna people. So here's you taking a little beat for yourself. Hey, let's like, be good to me. Let's go get my nails done, or I don't know, go fishing or go paint something. This is somebody who's saying, okay, I guess I need to like let it go. It's not going to happen. I'm going to focus on me. I love me, and somehow things will be fine. And then that person that you have been working to get over is like, hey, wait a second, where'd you go? Aren't you obsessed with me anymore? Come back. I liked it where you were like always on the back burner waiting for me. Can't you like go back? No. This is emotional manipulation for the majority of you. The Queen of Cups in the reverse could also be, I don't have those feelings for you, but I like that you're in love with me because it means you do nice things for me, or you always like, I don't know, stroke my ego. This is someone who's like, wait a second, I kind of like that you're obsessed with me. Why would you? Don't go anywhere. Come back. There's a spot in the audience just for you. And our Empress is like, no. Four of Swords, man. I'm over it. I've already started to see things get better because I am moving on, because I am focusing on myself. I don't want to go back to that Five of Cups. That was sad. I didn't like that. This Empress is like, I've prioritized the love that I have for myself over the love that you never returned to me. Is that not what you would have done? No. So I'm proud of you. You know that this person is likely just taking advantage of your emotions and wanting to maintain control over you. We may see the devil come out because they feel like they have you on, like, you're like a little puppet for them. And you're looking at them like, no. We have what we had. That was a thing. And I kind of got a little bit lost over it. But it's over now. Now I'm hearing the song. I think her name is Alien Blaze. I'm pretty sure she's British because she says phone you. And I don't know anybody who's American who says, okay, I'll phone you later. Do you guys? Is that a thing anywhere? I think it's British. Anyways, the song is Not Yours. Never Was. Something like that. But we have somebody who's saying, no. You can't like try to drag me back in after I've fought to get out of the quicksand. Don't toss me right back in there, you know? Eight of Wands in the reverse, Page of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. Oh, Lord. We need the karma police. Oh, jeez. Okay, so Eight of Wands in the reverse. Hey, what's up? I haven't heard from you in a while. Are you still obsessed with me? Why don't you text me good morning every day and tell me that you love me so that I can ignore you, huh? This is somebody who's real concerned because they haven't heard from the Queen of Cups Empress energy. And they want to kind of dangle the carrot in front of them. Like, well, hey, maybe we should like revisit that conversation about you loving me and stuff. Maybe we could like hang out in like a month. They want to like make it seem like maybe they're a little bit more likely to be in a relationship, or maybe they've found some feelings. Don't you fall for that. Nope. That's like when somebody tries to trick you into a magazine subscription and says that it's free for a little bit. Don't you fall for that. This is like, I just want you to like kind of think that maybe I love you, or maybe I might like get serious about you, because I really like having a fan club and you are the loudest screaming fan. So could you just like sit down and keep, talking about how awesome I am? They like that you built them up. They like when people fight over them specifically. They like that you being in their life makes other people nervous, or makes it easy for them to kind of sidestep being in a committed relationship. Well, there's this person over here. Maybe if they try to date new people, they say, okay, but you have to like no longer talk to that Queen of Cups. Maybe if they're starting to date somebody, they go out of their way to make sure this Queen of Cups knows about it. Like, oh, are you jealous? Oh, I never would have guessed. That's so weird. Is it? It's not like your plan or anything. They are manipulative. They want this Queen of Cups to stay on the back burner. Again, they want this external validation. And I'm just going to say it for some of you, they want that like 2 a.m. booty call. So it's a no for me, dog. Please don't. Please don't. I know you got to live your own life. Okay. Times is rough, but like they want to get you back where you were and keep you stuck. And they're hoping that if maybe they like flirt with you or like touch you a little bit or other things, that maybe you won't move on. Sun in the reverse. Eight of Swords in the reverse. They don't realize you've already mentally freed yourself from the situation. You've already gotten to the point where you've accepted, maybe this isn't going to work. Maybe this person isn't serious. Maybe this person has been like playing games with me this whole time. Yeah, for real. Let's just clarify, booty call at any time of the day is disrespectful. I mean, let's just assume you don't use that term if you're like in a relationship with somebody, please. But yeah, I suppose 2 a.m. is maybe like the most red of red flags. Yeah. This is the truth is. And since we had a reality check here, I feel like this would be appropriate. Booty call. Yar. That there's my booty. I can't help it, you guys. Any opportunity to make a pyro joke. There she blows. What? I didn't say that. Did you? Who did that? Okay, you can totally make fun of me for this. But lately, my favorite thing to do when I see my mom, if I have to burp, burp, and then I'll look at her. Was that you? Let's blame Dr. Pepper for that, okay? Unstable. There are many issues that need solving, and speak up. Time to be honest about the way you feel. Um, those stones that are stacked up, the leaning tower of Stonza, shall we call it? This is all of the things that this person needs to deal with before they would be able to, like, in a healthy way, return the affections and the love of this Queen of Cups. And I feel like part of the strength that the Empress is drawing from this situation and from the love they feel for themselves is they're finally being honest with themselves. Hey, you got all these things to deal with, man. Like, or sis, whoever you are, all these things, right? I don't know if I have enough time for that. It sounds like when I go to the doctor and I'm all excited to leave, and then they ask if I want to get like a shot. And I'm like, no, I was like about to leave. I was real excited to get out of here. This is someone saying, no, no, no. I may have once thought that I could handle doing all of that and being patient, and maybe I was looking the other way on these things that were issues, but if you're not willing to be honest, if you're not willing to have like an adult conversation about this, and you just want me to be like competing for your love, like, I'm sure you can find somebody else to do that. There's plenty of people that will do that for you. Not me. Hello, Voyager. How are you doing? Hello, Pharaoh. How's it going? Hello, Illuminati. Gold digging, interested in financial gain. And my favorite, round and round. Yep. So I want you to stay stuck, because it makes me happy to know there's somebody over there just waiting for me, or still in love with me, or, obsessed with me. I don't know if you made things easier for this person financially, if you bought them things, if you took them places, if you gave them gifts, but there is some financial component here. And I feel like that's also why they like dealing with more than one person. I like dealing with more than one person so that I can get a little bit from each of them. I'm talking about money, right? This is not a loyal person. This is not a trustworthy person. And the Empress is like, you know what? I think I was a little bit blinded. There's a show for that. This is the situation deck. Oh, Lord. I think I need to get like a twin flame cowbell. And then I can, in addition to the wind chimes, when the twin flame cards come out, I can be like, oh my God, you guys. Alarms ringing. The twin flames card comes out for a few reasons. And sometimes it's that a person wants to believe that they're in a divine connection, and that's why it is so difficult. I want to justify it and make it seem less awful that I am simping for someone who doesn't treat me very well. But we also have people who go through these really difficult periods of connection and separation through the twin flame journey, right? Oh, you quick with it. Thank you, Jess. This feels to me like a quick end that is instigated by the Empress. I'm done with this. I'm moving on. I realize now that I kind of like talk myself into believing that you are my twin flame. Or since this person's already demonstrated that they love to play manipulative games, you shouldn't have. They're the ones who was like, oh, no. This is just part of the twin flame journey. You're my divine connection, but it's supposed to be like punctuated by periods of separation where I go hang out with a lot of other people and you miss me. Blech. This is a self-absorbed person. I'm sorry if I'm coming across super judgy. We all have the ability to address the things that hold us back from loving someone in a healthy way. This is somebody who's actively pursuing those toxic avenues in romance because of money and because of ego. Roller coaster. They like to put people on an emotional roller coasters and see how they're, how resilient they are to, oh, that's too funny, an amusement park style love. Hey, it's great. You have to pay to get in. Everything's really expensive. Parking's awful. You might step in some dog-ish. Water's like $8 a bottle. The bathrooms, let's not even get started on the bathrooms. This person's love is a poorly maintained county fairground. You all can get mad at me if you want. They don't maintain things in a way to encourage anybody to stay around on purpose. They want there to be this like man and man and man. Like it's a dry cleaner thingy. What do they call those things? Or like what Cher had in her closet with all her clothes in Clueless. Just how to like find the right file drawer, you guys. Hello, Matt. How are you doing? Y'all are funny. What else do we have? Soulmate and denial. So I hope you appreciate that what I try to do on this channel is not just like build you up and tell you you're doing everything right. Sometimes we need to be told the difficult truth, right? I feel that's what tarot does. That's what it's here for. Here's what you've been through. Here's what you're not paying attention to. And I think that's why it scares some people. This is somebody who was in denial about how well they actually aligned or like connected to somebody they saw as a soulmate, and now they realize is not a soulmate. This is somebody who tries to create that illusion or tries to create that kind of like bond so that they can manipulate you. Family in the reverse. Recalling. So this says blood ties, inner circle, and then recalling also says reminiscing, memories, and returning. So you reject this person after they, make kind of like a feeble attempt to bring you back into the fold. And because you're resistant or even just like completely silent and you're not going for that anymore, they feel like they need to go and get somebody from their past and bring them back in. It's like, okay, so you deny me, you don't, love me anymore. Okay, I got somebody else. There's someone else that I'm pretty sure would take your place on the back burner. Oh, Darren, I'm so upset about that. Like this person's like, okay, good luck with that. Ascension, spiritual path, awakening. And poison, toxic, unhealthy behaviors, and people. You want to know the fastest way to find out whether or not somebody in your life really wants you to do well or, genuinely cares about you? Choose something that benefits you, but isn't necessarily what they want. See how they react. I'm not telling you to like manufacture that situation. I'm saying when there are opportunities or when there are moments where you have to do something for yourself. Maybe it's because you're not feeling well. Maybe it's because, you want to change something in terms of your lifestyle, whatever. Or like moving away, right? The friends who love you, the people who want to see you happy, they're going to cheer you on. Even if it means, oh, okay, well, that sucks. I'll probably see you less, but I want you to be happy. And if that's where you want to be, you got to do that. The people who want to control you, the people who are toxic, they're going to throw a little hissy fit, right? Why are you doing it? That's what they do. Can you hear my feet too? This one's throwing a little hissy fit because you're doing what's right for you. And that's not enough to stop the Empress. Yeah. All right, let's see if we get the Ascension card from the Voyage of the Soul. What else do we have? That's too bad. You can always try again, Tiana. I believe in you. We've got energy, life force, chakras, Reiki, intangible, subtle, and crystals. And polarity, contrast, resistance, pull, yin and yang, and magnetic. And aura, mood, light, glow, shield, and protection. Now I realize part of what drew me to this love interest was the fact that we were so different. But I can't always just get drawn in by the fact that we are polar opposites. There still has to be some sort of commonality, right? I think this is the Empress realizing they have this phenomenal intuition and they need to leverage it more. They had stars in their eyes or they got a little bit carried away because they were ignoring that intuition or because they wanted to feel what they were feeling. I think we now have an Empress who is appreciating that there's more to discernment than just, yeah, no, they make me excited, because now we have somebody who you may even see auras. Somebody's taking into consideration, what can I read off of a person initially that will help me avoid manipulative people that want to use toxic behaviors to keep me stuck. So, lesson learned, right? Yeah. All right. What else do we have? Oh, all of those. Okay, cool. How long do you guys have? All right. So we've got bloom, wisdom. I'm going to try not to knock over my shelf. Okay, we did it. Right? Okay, did it. All right. Bloom, wisdom, serendipitous, and answers. So very much so tied to the idea of an awakening, right? Somebody who is letting go of things that have kept them stuck, going through a bit of a glow up, right? Radiance, goddess, beauty, attract, nectar, and glow. So that's obviously connected to that Empress card. Again, do not get too caught up on that gender. Gender doesn't matter in tarot. This is just energy. But you got a big old brain on you. The wisdom card. I see things more clearly now. I'm not going to have that like emotional fog or heart fog. I'm not going to get caught up on somebody who's being disingenuous. So I'm going to use my intuition. I'm going to take into consideration people's auras or remember that whatever energy is in my sphere impacts my energy. So now we have an appreciation for where this Empress needs to be. And I feel like they're headed in the right direction to like run into something that is a blessing or a bonus for them. There's clarity because they're paying closer attention to their intuition. And I feel like it leads them right to where this 10 of Cups is. That was fun. But you had to get rid of this curse. Did this person put a spell on you? You would already know. Curse, lost souls, eerie, psychic attack, and dark force. There's at a minimum a dark attachment to this person that you had the obsession or fell in love with and struggled to get over. But you have been able to let go of this. That's what's really making them freak out. Maybe they've been quite adept at keeping people. It's like I'm seeing it as like a fishing line. Maybe that doesn't make sense to you all because, okay, I have not done a lot of fishing in my life, but my first fishing experience was off the coast of Norway. I went on a trip with my aunt and my mom and met like over 30 of my relatives in Norway, which was epic. Special shout out to Lhasa. I don't think you'd ever see this, but um, we went fishing, and the fishing line, or like the style of fishing, was this fishing line that had like, I think it was 3 sets of hooks, and each hook had like 3 on it, right? And then you just like move the fishing line back and forth. And that's how I caught my first fish. So I'm seeing it as this person, like, plenty of fish. This person likes to keep people on a fishing line. They like to have multiple options going at all times because they want this competition. They want this, like, okay, who do I choose from now? They all want me. And this Empress was like, no, no, no. I don't do that. Thanks, but no, it's a hard pass for me. This is the Path of Shadows. Oh, you gotta make sure you take some breaks, Tiana. I hope it's going well for you, though. Hello, Aisha. How you doing today? This card's been following us. Raven, knowledge, death, energies. And we had energy come out from the voyage of the soul. All of a sudden, whoever's our Empress, probably you, it's like they see things completely differently. Okay, so what was that show? I want to say the actor's last name is like Gubler-Ross. Is that the right? Anyways, okay, I'm not going to focus on the wrong details. There was an episode of a crime show, and it might have been Criminal Minds, but there was a character who had sensitivity to electromagnetic fields. And I think it was Criminal Minds. And that sensitivity was useful as much as it was inconvenient for that person. And they had some illustration of this, right? Here I can see all the waves and the energies. I feel like that's what's happening for this Empress. I used to just kind of believe everyone was good or try to believe in the good of everyone. And, if people saw that I was good to them, they would be good to me. But now I'm wiser. Now I realize the person I fell in love with always had the intention of keeping me on a fishing line, keeping me, waiting on the back burner. And now I can recognize that energy. Now I'm, no longer naive to that concept. Wow. Okay, so thank you, James. I hope you're having a good day. I appreciate that. Hello, Miss Princess. So we have the skull right here. And we have the skull card and the skeleton card. And I gotta say, I'm a big fan of that. If you don't know, I love skeletons. These guys are sitting at the edge of my desk. So just, watching over. Skeleton, a curse of bones, time, and dust, things that were never meant to last. Skull, transcendence, intuition, and power. Electromagnetic power. I love this for you because I feel like what's going on here is you are fully embracing how powerful you are, how much you've got going on for yourself, the fact that you get to enjoy life for a bit on your own, kind of like fall in love with yourself and appreciate what kinds of things you've learned as a result of this journey, because I think you have a much clearer understanding of humanity and interactions than you used to do. I think you understand intentions better. So we've got the dagger and avoidance. Action, bravery, determination, and avoidance says, in the dance of shadows, I conceal and evade. Fear's veil keeps me distant in the dark's cool shade. So it's interesting that the dagger represents action, I guess. I mean, in my mind, this represents truth because of swords. Like I would have, yeah, whatever. Taking action to accept somebody will always be evasive. Someone will always be secretive. Somebody will always have these toxic energies. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll grow out of it. But this is the Empress saying, I'm not going to wait for it. If it happens, like, cool, tell me. But like, I'm going to be over there. So do they still love this person? Yes. But if you can't ascend, if you can't work on yourself, if you're going to be manipulative, then I'll love you from a distance. I don't have to be, sitting here waiting forever. Wow, that's quite the stretch there, you guys. Okay, this is the Romance Angel Oracle, and then I should probably call it because it's already over 50 minutes. Oops. Oh, thank you. A worm harness. Yeah, I never really knew. I just describe it. All right. You deserve love. You are lovable. This is one of the most important cards all over my table. This is the most important card, okay? Because a lot of what I think in the collective struggle with is finding that balance between the love you have for others and the love that you show yourself. You are lovable. You deserve respect. You deserve warm fuzzies. Kisses? I don't know. What do you want? Yeah, sure, that. Playfulness. So there's, I think, a fresh energy that hits you when you walk away. And I think it's because a curse has been lifted. Maybe that's not for all of you, but I do feel like for some of you, the energy is going to be noticeably different when you walk away from this person. When you acknowledge maybe you still love them, but you have to like let it go. There's a playful energy that comes back. An ability to joke, an ability to enjoy things that maybe you hadn't for a while. And I think you're done being hermity, right? If you had been avoiding other people, not wanting to get caught up in let's get one more, other connections for fear of what would happen with this one. Now you're like, you know what? Let's go out. Let's meet some people. Let's see what else is out there. Because you've admitted to yourself, we've got a person who has been deceptive. They're evasive. They don't want to be transparent. They don't want you to know who they really are. But that's okay. Because once you accept the reality of it, you open the door to a different reality. So we have romantic feelings with somebody in the near future, and it is not the same person. There's somebody else here. So keep an open mind. I think, it's important to have that time to heal or that time to just like be yourself after heartbreak. But I see there being someone who's much more serious and emotionally available that is interested in you. So, all right. I love you all. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Toodles.